or any core company like electric motor, the Lawson Dorgo or whatever this, any company, all are interdisciplinary. So if even in my last 5 to 6 years I am going for a campus, if a fresh engineer who are sitting in front of me, if I ask which core companies you are looking for, they're just talking about their own core companies, the company which names. Even if I ask you now, I hope nobody in the electric the circuit team, what they call, never say Renault Nissan is my destination as a core company. Because the awareness, the opportunities available across the industry is the kind of gap between the students and the kind of trends in industry. So, but as again, one of the speakers asked about how many of you in this Facebook and how many of you in the LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I hope many of you are aware of it. It's a professional forum. Same way, and Facebook is, many people are using. Internet, almost everyone is using it. Very long back, if I go back after my 12th, in 1996 I completed my higher studies, higher secondary. So that time my father dreaming about make me as a doctor, medical doctor. So he is ready to spend money, he is ready to send me anywhere. Okay, my cutoff is slightly I missed for the seat in Tamil Nadu. So my father ready to send me Russia. That time going to Russia, like the Ukraine, that's a very easy option. Even a just passed engineer person can go to Russia and do a medical. Many of you are aware of it. So he is ready to send me. Then I said, no, I don't want to go. Then he pushed me to US. Okay, you go, I have some contact, you please go to US and do a medical. He is ready to spend money. Actually, he is not able to study, so he wants to make me as a doctor. Then I said, no, I don't want to. I got a scholarship, meritorious seat in government college, so I stick on to it. But still his dreams are to be sent to me. So I took a TOEFL, I got a passport, and that day the sending email is way that the internet cafe, he charged me per hour is 250 rupees. And I'm nowhere going to sit in a computer. He will write a mail, send it. When a reply comes, he will make a post, take a printout and send me a post to my home. It comes 3 days after. But the technology is completely changed. So even internet, now the next era. So no more display is like your hereafter. You can project anywhere in a 3D environment. So you have very good weapons in your hand. How we are using it, the course, whatever you studying here is somewhat beneficial. So when you have a kind of career which you want to do, then you have to skill up yourself with all these kind of weapons, because it's a very competitive world. This year almost 1 lakh engineering seats are vacant. I don't know, every year almost 2 lakh to 3 lakh engineers coming out of Tamil Nadu. So earlier in Andhra Pradesh not much, but nowadays even Andhra Pradesh more than 300, 400 colleges are opened. So across India maybe more than 10 to 15 or 20 lakhs engineers coming out. The service companies are going well, like TCS, Infosys, everything is going well. But they are dependent on the core companies again. They are doing a service. Okay, so not everybody is getting a job. You have to be competitive in the market. So you know everything, what is required. Many people talked about, may not, I hope you all are finalists, right? So almost another 6 to 7 months, you have to go out of this college. It's your own career, you have to pursue. So the day when you come in, I don't know how about you come in, your father, your parents decided or you decided, but you are here and you are going to be out of this college in another 6 months. So do you have that confidence that what is my career? Are you serious about your career, what you have to do? Because many lectures you are attending, you have knowledge, know what is industry is expecting? Are you preparing for it? Not just hearing him here and leaving here. So there are various options. Maybe I want to skip here. Just forget about the topics. Just as a technical person, I want just to give where the automotive industry is going out. So we are in a conventional engines vehicles. You are aware of the hybrid electric vehicles and then the electric vehicles. So automotive sectors give you a wonderful opportunity to work in a complete disciplinary, from the mechanical engineering to the ITS. Because nowadays the vehicles, the hybrid vehicles or electric vehicles, the biggest challenges for the industry is the customer needs a high fuel economy, the end customers need a very good drivability, the performance. He measures the performance in the case of 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6 seconds or 10 seconds. So he needs a highly performing vehicle. Government needs to, or in the environment, then you cannot give a high performing vehicle. Like 100 kilometers per hour in 6 seconds is not possible with the economy of 30 kilometers per liter. So these are the challenges, and we are moving towards the electric vehicle. When you go for electric vehicle, then all the knowledge of electric motor, the battery, all these systems are not evolved completely. It means not very effective. If you take an engine, it's 100 years technology, it's evolved nicely. But if you take electric motor, the lithium-ion battery, the battery research, the fuel cell, all these areas are still coming up. It means lot more research, lot more output of their salary to the friends. So initial period of your life, please work to learn, not to yearn. So there is one quote last week I come across. When you are young, work to learn, not to yearn. So yearning, automatically when you are established yourself with the knowledge, the kind of high, going up in the ladder is you are identified among the sector. So if you are having such kind of big dreams, please use your initial opportunities wherever you are joining. Don't blame about your company, blame about your college or blame about your parents for your situations. Take the opportunity in a positive spirit, learn from everything. So keep that spirit, what I am going to learn from this. Like that. Same way, one more final comment. As you are in the final year, please take your project very carefully. Do it truthfully into your heart. Don't buy it. Especially I know about the circuit departments. There are many consultants available outside just giving you a small kit which can do some wonders to escape from the project. Please, this 6 months, the project activity is a mock-up or try for the industry situation. So from the planning to thesis. This gives you, if you do it yourself, gives you a lot of confidence when you sit in front of a recruiter at the time of campus interview or off-campus wherever. So because at the end of time, the recruiting time, even for me, if I go, I just check about your contribution in the project and 1 or 2 basic questions from your theory. Not at all, not much. I cannot expect nothing much from you. Only few questions which even sometimes the people write about their interest, subject interest. So if you are writing about 1 page, maybe at the end of your final year, your resume is 1 page. Some educational qualification, subject of interest, some description of your project. That's all right. You cannot write nothing more than that. Maybe some paper publication, student contest, something. So if you are writing your resume, please be honest, truthful, what you've done, and you should be prepared to answer what you are mentioning on that. So do your project truthfully. If it's a team project, everyone get into the project, keep your the participation, the job share, the project share between you. So so that it also improves your teamwork from the college itself. So with that I just finish it. Thank you.
It was very informative and on technical aspects. Students progressed well in that company. Will that company consider the student in technical aspects? Will that company consider the student for his practical knowledge, or will they consider the marks? Will they consider the marks?
Okay. After getting into the company, there is no value for the mark. So your knowledge based, your performance is evaluated. So all these marks are only for the cut-off, because coming to the college, we cannot interview all the 1,000 people. So for some criteria, the marks. But getting into the industry, once you are recognized as an employee of the company, then it's only the performance.
Thank you, sir.
When we look at hiring on campus, we have a cutoff for the student and we look at what he is capable of doing, and depending on his aptitude, we fit him into various positions. Off-campus vacancies and things like that. Off-campus also, the focus is the same. It is basically the aptitude of the student and the technical knowledge of the student. And sometimes people who result giving on-campus recruitment can definitely get into off-campus.
Like one student is talking, all the he's impressed all disciplines like C, business, Java, they all disciplines. And other student is talking only one domain, like in Android. He
Okay, we do recruit, see when we recruit for Java projects, it is true that we have certain Java projects with us, and sometimes we have certain Java projects in mind, projects are in the pipeline, which are yet to come. So what we will be looking for is people who can adapt to any situation. You may be recruited for a Java project, but situation may be that we don't have a Java project, only we may not go for Arun. So we look for people with multiple skills and well-rounded skills. And as everybody was mentioning, communication is of the utmost importance, because we work mostly with Western clients, US, UK, Europe clients, and we also look for communication skills beyond the technical skills. Okay, there are 4 of us from 4 different companies. Who is
Direction of my company. Technology front I already told. As a powertrain side, we moving toward the electric vehicle. On the higher technology side, even the autonomous vehicles kind of activities are going on. These are all global problems. So whether electric vehicle coming into India, the strategy is different, because the infrastructure is not favorable to pick up such kind of technologies immediately. Even high-end technology in the engines itself, we are adding the fuel like diesel fuel. The sulfur content is not suitable to pick up some higher technology to India immediately. So the strategy varies from India to the world. Based on that, it's not only India, it's based on country to based on the infrastructure, the government support, and the customer's needs.
Musical, and we are already competing with the likes of PTs in ERP, and hence we want to ensure that the entire ERP application is accessible through smartphones, smartwatches, and in fact our current project is in Google Glass, so which probably most of you will also be so Google Glass is one of the next technologies which is up in the market, and it's already being tested across the world. So that's one area where we are looking at, and we are trying to push in more of the user interface, because the millennial generation, which is let's say people born easy to navigate and easy to user screens. So that's one area we are working on, and we are also proud to say that we are being one of the leading ERP organizations to actually make on providing ERP on cloud. So we have a public cloud model, we have a private cloud model, plus we also have a on-premises deployment model also.
See, I basically am from a finance side, so I can't talk much about the technology and all that stuff, but I can, from a layman's point of view, I thought we are actually, I work for a computer services company. We collect data from various websites and give it to the client to use. We have basically two types of verticals. One is e-commerce platform. This is the way market, like you also heard of companies like Flipkart, Snapdeal, Amazon, where last week was subsequently two major headlines like Flipkart bought finance for $1 billion and Amazon was going to invest $2 billion. So that's where we will make our money, and for this, basically you need to know how to basically, one is getting data from various websites. Secondly, we need to have some writing skills. In fact, we are looking for some people writing very good writing skills. If you are there, please go and please follow the meeting when you are job straight away. Then of course we have another vertical which is information services, like companies like Anand, McGraw-Hill, and all that stuff. Those data are available on the internet. We just go into the different sites, get the data, populate their server or whatever they want. So for this, I think we may need Java and .NET, Perl, these are the things that we are using right now. But it's a fast, service industry is one of the fastest growing industries, going on forward in the future is going to be e-commerce. So that's where we are. So we have a lot of scope there and growth, and we are very excited. They are more into technology side, and sorry, I don't think more on this. But basically, we can add more to what I'm saying, if they can. Thank you.
Services and products. Services account for 70% of our business, of our revenue. And it basically brings us revenue which we can use to deploy in, say, reusable components or other products that we are interested in. But to be very honest, the services side is dictated by the client. Most of the time, you end up getting requirements from the client and you serve the client. And the more interesting part is in products. As engineers, we all like to work on products. That is where our creativity, original thinking, lateral thinking comes into play. So the thrust from Polaris is in the product side. As you probably know, we are in the banking, financial services and insurance sector, and 97% of our work is done for this sector. We are betting heavily on products. We have a world-class product called Intellect, which has been installed in 280 locations across the globe, and we are going to product. So the strategy is basically to hold on to the services for revenue and come up with better products for the DFSI world. And as everybody knows, we moved from mainframe, that is legacy systems, to client server to internet.
We know about the fundamental of purpose, but we want to
this is also addressed, I think, when Dr. Anand was speaking. So, probably you need to understand the basics of what is cloud computing is, and probably we work on, let's say, the backend database is SQL Server. So, even when you go in for any of the campus, one of the other additional advantage apart from your programming knowledge is on your database knowledge. Because querying and getting data with various queries that you need, so that's very important. So it could be SQL Server of Microsoft, or could be Oracle also, because these two are probably leading providers in the database sector. And this is where you may have to focus, and these are probably the preliminary assessments and the requirements for any organization which they may look into. So the basic fundamentals have to be in place, and that is where we need to focus on But other than that, you should also be aware on the current technologies, and you need to have the knowledge on the current technologies so that it's easier for you to scale up during the training program or the hand-holding program, which happens in most of the organizations. Because let's say if you go to Polaris or Renault, Nissan or to Ramco or Mobius, they themselves have their own systems internally which cannot be given public forum, in the public forum. So once you get into the organization, you will be provided that learning opportunity, and that is where you need to spend as much time as possible. If required, you stretch your limits in learning. So do not think that I'll just go to the office by 8 o'clock or be back by 5 o'clock, similar to what you do in your college or in your school life. So try to utilize as much as opportunity within the organization that you get in. Learn as much as possible. Probably the initial thing is what is required, and spend as much time as learning, and try to invest your time in that. So do not think of spending it, but rather I would say invest your time in learning and not think of spending it.
The divine blessings of the Holy Ghost and the Dharma, come to the closing session of this short time. I have been conducted successfully. On behalf of the Lecturer, I would like to thank our Director National Secretary Dr. Kumar for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to CS Kumaran, Head Finance, Mobius College of Services, Dr. Anand Gurupatham, Senior Manager, Renault Nissan Technology Business Center, Mr. Kumar, Senior Manager Training, Ramco Systems, and Mr. Shankar, Associate Vice President, Polaris Software Limited, for the valuable interactions and their presence here. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our Principal Dr. Ramco for his kind support to organize this connect. I also extend my thanks to Director Dr. S. Madam, Vice Principal Dr. Rajan, and all the departments of various departments, and faculty members of various departments,
and we are all in a great hope that we may receive an invaluable opportunity for the youth from your concerns to lead the future. Welcome you all. I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. Ramasamy, for his kind support to organize this special event. I also extend my welcome to our director, Dr. Associative, and my principal, Dr. Shankar, HODs, and faculty members. I would like to welcome the reporters and media persons for their presence. Last but not least, I would like to welcome all our final year students for their interaction with experts. Welcome on and all. Thank you.
Mr. Kumaran has obtained his undergraduate in the field of mathematics and completed intermediate examinations in the Institute of Chartered Accountants and Indian Medium. He has completed training course in business process week engineering, underwent training in Tata Management Training Center Pune for corporate financial management. He has also obtained a certificate from Brain Bench on financial accounting. He has extensive audit experience and has held senior positions in engineering and consumer products for the past 40 years. We are very proud to have you for our chat, sir. Once again, welcome. Thank you.
Our honorable guest, Kumar, Senior Manager at Ramco Limited, attained his degree from University of Madras in 2001 and MBA from Sikkim Manipur University of Health, Medical and Economic Sciences in 2006. He started his career in 2002 as a senior technical support associate at Dell International Services and then as a team lead at Microland. In the words of Mr. Stephen King Wilson, famous writer, talent is cheaper than every song. What separates the talented individual from the successful one is lack of hard work. Not only becoming a talented and successful personality, he did the transformation successfully among the employees as a manager of talent transformation and operation excellence. Once it is transformed, talent is most valuable and expensive asset of an organization. Then now, we have to optimize the talent to ensure the superior corporate performance. He had his major role for more than a decade ago as a senior manager of staffing and talent organization. He is currently heading the training department and the competency development center at Ramco Systems Limited as a senior manager and taking care of skill development for employees, partners and customers along with other initiatives such as mobile learning and e-learning. We are very proud to have such an eminent person with us today and I take this opportunity to thank you for accepting our request to be with us for sharing and carrying our opportunities.
I with pleasure welcome you all on behalf of the Training and Placement Center for the HR Management, presented by our chief guest Dr. Anand, Gurupatham, Senior Section Manager, Renault Technology and Business Center in India, whose education and qualification has concerned a completed PhD in Mechanical Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, in Delhi at 2006. He completed Masters in Thermal Engineering, College of Engineering in Chennai at 2002. He completed Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering, Government College of Engineering in Tirunelveli at 2000. He completed higher secondary in National Higher Secondary Schools in Chennai at 1996. So whose experience has concerned around 10 years experience in the industry. Last 6 years experience as Senior Section Manager in Renault Technology and Business Center from April 2014. 3 years experience with as Section Manager in Renault Technology and Business Center from April 2011 to March 2014. So 1 year experience as Deputy Manager in Renault Technology and Business Center in India from April 2010 to March 2011. 2 years experience as Assistant Manager in Renault Technology and Business Center from June 2008 to March 2010. 2 years experience as Lead Engineer in General Motors Technical Center in India from September 2006 to May 2008. We are indeed fortunate to have the architects of various innovative ideas in our midst today. Our chief guest, a personality of vision and mission. I am sure that we will enrich lot of this message. Here, I have great pleasure to welcome you, sir, to this wonderful gathering. And also, I extend all of you a warm welcome. Thanks to one another.
Chief guest Mr. Shankar, who is working as a Associative Vice President at Polaris Financial Technology Limited from 2012. And he is also head category development of bank companies, assessment, related corporate. In the year of July 2010, he has been working as a quality director of LOP of 900. From September 2009 to July 2010, he worked as a consultant in Chennai. He focused on process implementation and training. His incoming implemented QA process in small software companies with special focus on improving business efficiencies. From November 2005 August 2009, he worked as a senior manager at HCL Technology. From April 2005, he worked as a head of network technologies at HCL Technology. From 2002 to 2002, he worked as a manager at HCL Technologies Limited and Cisco Offshore Development Center. From 2002 to now, he worked as a assistant manager in Mobius. From 1997 to 2000, he worked as a associate consultant in IMR Group. Once again,
faculty and management team of APEC and my dear student friends of APEC, a very good morning to you all. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you on this occasion, and that too at the best private engineering college in 2013 in India. It is very refreshing to be part of this event in which many engineers and future engineering and management leaders of our country have participated. India is looking up, as we all know, and we are the future of India. In fact, you are the future of India. From these centers of education in India, students will spring forth and bring India to the forefront in many aspects, and then they bring glory to our nation. Congratulations to all the participants of the contest. In such a competition, there are no losers, everyone wins. The very fact that there are so many entries here shows the latent talent that is there. Participation in such an event brings a lot of credit to the students and their institutions. Ideas proliferate in such settings, and many collaborative efforts continue. We in industry are always looking at inducting new people into the organization with fresh ideas, and such an occasion helps. Now, some of the topics were given to me on which I was asked to speak. I thought I would talk a little on all topics. I'm happy to share with you some of my thoughts in the areas. Basically, when it comes to skills, I will talk about what industry expects from the students. I think that will be more relevant to you. So, as corporate organizations, we are looking at hiring students full time. Typically, freshers, especially the CS and IT areas, are expected to convert algorithm to code. At a later stage, employees may be asked to analyze, do analysis and design. Typically, business analysts do the requirements gathering, and software engineers do the design, coding and testing. We look for technology skills in the areas of Java and .NET. There are opportunities in mainframe and testing also, but it is not fair to expect freshers to have experience in this area. So once we induct these students into our organization, we arrange for training programs in these areas. When it comes to Java and .NET, we expect freshers to have basic skills in core Java. That is what we are looking at. In fact, during the fresher induction, there is a pre-test in Java, and on clearing that, freshers are allowed to complete the induction program. The induction program goes on for 6 weeks. technical, domain, process and behavioral skills are important to the students. During fresher induction, Java and advanced topics in Java are also covered. The icing on the cake is you can take certifications in Java, .NET and SQL Server, and these are all valued along by the industry. We do not expect our freshers to have domain skills. We are in only one domain, that is BFSI, banking, financial services and insurance. And typically we do not expect our students to have skills in this area. We teach domain skills during our induction, and our domain certifications are very respected in the industry, and one's career graph can only improve by doing this certification. Another topic that was given to me was entrepreneurship. Good news for the budding entrepreneurs among you. IIT Madras has a separate cell that supports young entrepreneurs by giving them office space at subsidized rates and also helps with funding. This happens in the Kumaran research park which IIT has built. They will put you in touch with venture capitalists also and the angel investors who are willing to invest in your projects. You just need a project report which explains the technical feasibility of the project and also the business viability of the project. The Shankar School of Design talks about design as being something where it is desirable to the human, feasible with respect to technology, and viable with respect to business. When these three attributes come together, the customer experience is at its best. If the entrepreneurs are in the IT space, you can also approach Infosys Foundation for funding. They help in setting up young entrepreneurs. And more often than not, a well-managed startup usually succeeds. We are seeing so many instances in India today. When I graduated out of IIT Madras in 1987 with a BTech in electrical engineering, 80% of the batch went abroad in greener pastures. Now most IITs want to stay back to start a company in India. For better grounding, many of them take up MBA degrees typically from IIMs and XLR. And this very fact that many people are looking at careers in India and entrepreneurship in India shows how good it is for entrepreneurs in India. So if your heart is set on entrepreneurship, go and try it out. The good news is India is one of the world's biggest markets for goods and services. Recruitment trend was another topic that was given to me. I hope this is all useful to you, the information that I gave you. We will talk about it in two buckets. This is how it happens in the industry. First, we have freshers recruitment. Most of it is on-campus recruitment. Most companies prefer to recruit freshers out of campus because that is when they are at their enthusiastic best and are bringing with ideas after their project work. Those of you who are setting your job, your sights on a job immediately after you finish your degree, do all you can to get into your dream job. Give it all you have in terms of your effort. Only you know what job you like best. No one else can make that decision for you. From experience, I can tell you that it is better to be in a job and in an environment you love working in. Fulfillment comes from doing a job you like and being in an environment where you value, love and respect. Whether to settle for safety in a job that may not be so remunerative or satisfying, or to go for a job that is both challenging and rewarding, that decision you have to take depending on the financial status of your family, the condition you are in, and so on. Again, only you can decide what is best for you. We can show you the options, but the decision must be yours. Sometimes vacancies for freshers do crop up midway and we take in a few freshers. But this is few and far between. That is why preparing for the campus interview becomes all important. It is one opportunity, a golden opportunity that should not be missed. One tip that I would like to share, if you are taking at heart and will spend hours in front of a computer screen or with a device, then you can go for higher degrees in technology. I am talking about the MS, If you are a generalist at heart and you are looking for jobs that take you up the corporate ladder fast, an MBA is a very good idea. If you can get one from the top institutions like IIM, Nissan, Mobius and all that, fast growth in the corporate sector is assured. Such degrees pave the way to top positions in the corporate world. This is applicable to positions abroad as well. Many of us think that the only way to go abroad is to do an MS there or a PhD there, and sometimes we get stuck in technical careers where actually we are better managers, better as managers. Even after you complete your MBA, you get hired on campus in IIMs for positions abroad. If you are not really sure whether you want to take the plunge into a completely technical career, an MBA may be a good idea. It gives you more time to decide what field you want to be in and what industry you want to be in. In fact, sometimes it takes a while to understand what your heart is really after. The other method is the recruitment of experienced people. This happens when vacancies arise or positions are created by people leaving or by expanding business opportunities. Interested candidates can send us their resumes and we will forward them to the recruitment. The last topic that I will touch upon is innovation. Innovation in the earlier days used to be a magic word. If you innovated, you were a star in the organization. People were really impressed and promotions were natural consequences. However, with increasing competition and ever-reducing margins, it has become imperative to innovate just to survive and hang on to your clients. One such outcome of this scenario is design thinking that is becoming popular all over the IT world. Experts in industry have agreed that company with the best designs will win in the marketplace. Polaris Technologies has a world-famous design center called FT81, where many state-of-the-art planning applications are being designed. In fact, we have patented a 6-step design process which works for us, which helps us create world-class applications for the top banks and top insurance firms in the world. 9 of the top 10 banks and 7 of the top 10 insurers in the world use Polaris products. We have that 6-step patented design process. It goes like this. The first step is frame the problem statement. The next step is ask the right questions. The third step is divergence. The fourth step is convergence. Then the fifth step is prototype. And the last step is communication. Now, innovation sometimes changes the game altogether. Before the cloud technologies came in, poor countries or underdeveloped countries in Africa and Southeast Asia were not able to invest in infrastructure for their banking needs. A mainframe costed more than $1 million those days, and it was very difficult to invest in these things when funding was low. But we have overcome the problem by teaming up with IBM, which gave us the hardware, and Polaris gave the software. We have cloud solutions for these countries. The banks in these countries don't have to invest in costly infrastructure like servers and all that storage is on the cloud. So poor countries in Africa and Southeast Asia are benefiting and have the latest application. Once again, it has been a privilege and an honor to be part of this function in the best private college in India, and I wish you all success in your efforts. Thank you.
And students, staff, employees, and I thank start with, I would say the career is probably in your own hands, right? So I would now probably start and tell what is it that I am looking for. Okay, how many of you check your Facebook on a daily basis? Raise your hands. Okay. So we are into an age called as probably the post-digital age. So which is probably far more than ahead of the digital age. So I also did some research and probably India ranks number 2. So can you tell me in what sense India ranks number 2? Okay. Probably there are too many chatters, so I will not be able to hear you out individually. So the answer is number of mobile subscribers in India is second to China. So China is still number 1 and India is still number 2 in the mobile segment. And India is also a fast growing country wherein we start adopting smartphones, and which could be, let's say, your iOS based mobile phones, which could be of Apple, or could be Android based phones, wherein you get the cheapest of the phones which is available in the market. The terminology called as SMAC, how many of you have heard of it? S-M-A-C, SMAC. Okay, SMAC is a short form for Social, Analytical, Mobile and Cloud Computing. Okay, so in Ramco systems we probably have the philosophy called as music. Music, which stands for mobility, user interface, social, in-memory, and what we say is context aware. And apart from being music, we have also expanded to the new term called as musical, which is A stands for analytics and L for location aware. So what we are trying to innovate. So you heard that innovation is very critical. So probably, let's say from our organization perspective, so let's say we have our entire ERP system, which could be for a manufacturing segment, or could be an oil and gas, or for a staffing organization. The entire ERP is provided on a mobile platform. So anybody who wants to access the ERP can log into an iPad, or can log into iPhone, or through an Android enabled device can log in and access the ERP. And the next age of innovation that we are looking at is on smartphones. So we are already, or let's say smartwatches, right? So smartwatches is the next age, and we already have our ERP on smartwatches, which is already available for people to start accessing the ERP on smartwatches. So some of the skill sets probably which could be relevant to today's current skill set in the industry is probably, let's say, on being on analytics. So probably that's one of the big area where there is a lot of professionals required, but you might have to be really strong with numbers. So analytics is an area where it's an ever-growing field, and with probably big data and with a lot of open sources coming like Hadoop. So probably there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to analytics. So probably some of the other roles could also be on, let's say, programming, and programming could be as Java or .NET. But then what we have actually found with freshers is that they actually falter on basics. So the basics are really required to be really strong. So probably apart from your communication skills, or probably on the technical domain knowledge. So the basics on the technical knowledge is what you have to be strong on, because once you get into any of the other organizations, you will be, anyway you will have a hand-holding for about a month or more than that, depending on the role that you would get into. And programming is actually one of the larger areas. So I did some analysis on the internet and found out that there was a survey which was done by NASCOM, where it says that on a yearly basis there are close to 6 lakhs of engineering graduates passing out in the country, and more than 3 lakhs of non-BE graduates passing out in the country. But out of this entire population, we have only about 25% of engineering graduates being provided a job opportunity because of probably the skill gap between the industry and the academics. But why do we say that there's always a skill gap? So it's not only the academy of, let's say, the institution, or probably, let's say, the institutions like ICT Academy, which will help you in supporting and encouraging all of you to probably learn more than what is part of your curriculum, because the technology is very fast changing, but probably your curriculum may not change as fast as the technology which is changing. So you should always have an added advantage with probably going through any of the other technologies, and probably a certification if available. It's ideal that you take up a certification which will throw a light on the entire technology. So to share my own example here, so probably I passed out my engineering in computer science in 2001, wherein before the month of similar months of, let's say, October, November and December, we had the campus placements, and in fact most of us got placed. But unfortunately, by the year end of 2001, there was a recession which took place, and which was a very bad recession. And I was one among the person who also got affected by it. So what happened was, all the offers, most of us, about 85% of the offers got on hold, or some of the offers got revoked from major organizations. So it was now up to us to go ahead and look out for a job opportunity, or to go out with higher studies. So what I opted for is, okay, so even though I was part of a computer science, but I actually hated programming. I never liked programming at all, but my own interest was on the hardware and networking. So I took up a course which was on networking from Microsoft. So it was MCSE way back in 2000. And in fact, I spent about 3 to 4 months on completely working on the networking, and I also cleared my Microsoft certifications, got my MCSE certification. And by the time the opportunities also started coming in, and the certifications did really help me in probably getting placed in Dell International Services. So from there on, it's been a learning opportunities for me. So probably even once you come in, so it's again like, let's say, being a doctor, you have to keep learning every other day, so that you get updated with the latest medical innovations, the latest medicines. Otherwise, when you go to a doctor, if the person is not updated, then the doctor will probably give you an outdated medicine, right? So probably which may cause harm to the individuals also. So as engineers or non-engineering graduates, so both have the equal opportunities to scale up, and you have to keep scaling up your knowledge on a regular basis. So that's one area that you have to look at, and you have to keep improving on the knowledge and the skill set that you have. So you have to build in year one skill set. There are other lot of job opportunities in the market, so which could be on, let's say, designing user interfaces for applications. Most of you would have known about WhatsApp. So WhatsApp was nothing great, right? So it's only a chat application where you can send and share messages or even video files. But nobody thought about it until unless 2 people came out with that idea at Microsoft. So the technology is moving at a very fast pace, and you have to keep up with the technology and keep updating your skill sets. So probably let me not take too much of time and probably boring most of you, because you would have also heard probably a lot of speeches like this. So you are aware of it, and internet gives you all the solutions. There are a lot of e-learning courses which is available, so which is all open online courses which is available. So if anybody is really interested, you can actually utilize the web for your entire learning purposes. And to finish my speech, so probably I'll finish off with this story. Once upon a time, there was this king who was actually known to be really wise, and there was this person who thought, how is this king who can be really wise? So why not I test him? So this person catches some 2 sparrows out from the king's garden and walks into the king's court. And he asks the king, so I have a question for you. So the king says, yes, go ahead. So he just holds his hands at the back and he says, I have 2 sparrows. Can you tell me which sparrow is dead? What could be the answer? Anyone? Wishing the presenters all the very best and wishing you all students all the very best.
Was I saying something just before this? Was I telling you something just before this? I didn't say anything? Or was I conveying something to you? Nothing? I thought I was a few seconds, I was silent. Did I communicate something to you? Anything which comes to mind, can't be anything. But did something come to your mind, like I was a little nervous or I was a little jittery? Someone had that sort of a feeling when you saw me just standing in front of the mic for a while? I don't know if no one's really responding to me. I thought someone will come and answer, say that yes, maybe we thought we were a little nervous. To be frank with you, this is the first time I'm talking in front of a gathering of this size. So I expect myself to be a little jittery and shaky and shivering. Or maybe, I was, I just consulted an astrologer and he said, you start your talking not before 11:05, just waited for that minute to pass. But whatever, I was just trying to communicate to you, even without telling or uttering a word. Obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit about communication in the sense, I'm not going to really tell what is communication, blah blah, from all that Wikipedia and all that stuff. I'm sure you can always get into that and understand that. So I thought I'd just give you a couple of examples and I thought just close it down. In fact, I tell you what is really communication? So ultimately, when we talk about communication, not necessarily it should be language. It should be not necessarily should be expressed by words. It can be by gestures. It can be by body language. It can be by grunts, some noise without a word. I thought I'd just share a small example which my brother had a few years, not few years, but 25-30 years ago. My brother was a mechanical engineer and he was working in a ship. He joined his first travel voyage was from India. He traveled to Japan. He landed in Japan very late in the night and he was hungry. He wanted to go and have some food. Naturally, 20, 25, 30 years ago there was no English language in Japan for sure. Maybe today it might find. Earlier it wasn't there. He went out, found a restaurant, walked into it. There's no one there. There was a menu card. He just took it. One waiter came in. Obviously, he knew that waiter should have known that he is not Japanese, he is not a Chinese. He is a person just like me, so he would have sent, obviously must have sent that it must be Indian or something like that, or Asian, South Asian. Naturally, he didn't know English, so he was staring at him. My brother had a couple of 100 yen notes in his pocket. He took the menu card, everything was in Japanese, or maybe everything was in noodles on the page. So he just went through, he found the price, the lowest price was a few hundred yens. He just pointed out one particular item there and he said, give me this. He didn't even say give me this, just showed it. That waiter stared at him for a minute, then went away. Little later, another person came. He knew this person is from not from Japan, so he doesn't understand Japanese. He asked him, "Are you sure you want this?" Yes, that's the one. It fits my purse. Others looks very expensive. I can't pay for it. He said, "This is soup made out of snake flesh." That's communication. He couldn't communicate. See what did he get? Fortunately, he didn't eat it because he was
informed in little in advance that it's not a flesh which we normally consume. Some meat, some chicken meat or something like that. It wasn't. It was that's communication. So communication basically means what? I want to say something to another person or a group of persons, and it is received in the same sense almost everyone. If not full, at least most of them should understand exactly what I try to convey. If it reaches, I have achieved my goal. Otherwise, I have not. I need again retell the whole story again. I hope most of you understood what I said, right? It reached you? Did it reach you? Okay. In fact, I thought I'd give you a couple of more examples on this communication skill, two diametrically opposite effects. See, there was a toothpaste manufacturing company, a new company. They started manufacturing in India, and they came out with a massive ad campaign and all that stuff, and they started doing very well. Everyone started using the paste. The business was doing very well. And the campaign they adopted was simple. 3 pictures. First picture with a man, yellowish teeth. The next one is a picture with the paste, it's brushing. The third picture is gleaming white teeth. This didn't need any words to write, explain what it was. Naturally, even without an illiterate can understand what is being said. So it became a roaring success. The company was very happy. They wanted to get into other areas of other geographical areas. They went to Mid-East. They went there, played the same act. They went to the market. They gave the stocks to all the stock people, shops. No sale was happening. Any idea why? Am I communicating? You understand what my question was? Do I want to repeat again? Why there is no sale? Simple. See, Indians, exactly. Urdu right on the other side of it, not this way. So when they saw, what is this? White teeth, use the brush, use the paste. Yellow teeth, I don't want yellow teeth, I want white teeth. So never, no sale at all. So there what happened? The communication was not really effective. I'll give you another example, it is exactly opposite to it. There is only one picture. I'm going to really explain that picture. You tell me what it conveys. One small picture, one square rectangular picture, or square or rectangular. There is one person is holding a phone. Not one is just holding it like this. Blood is coming out of that receiver. The person is looking like this, that way, with a shock in the face. That's all. You want me to explain the picture again? It's a picture with a person holding a phone instrument. You take a mobile also, whatever. Just holding it like this. Blood is just splashing out of the phone. The person is having a shock in his face, horror in his face, and looking like this. That one picture, what does it convey? Does it convey something to you? Does it or doesn't it? Any answer? I don't know if I really communicated. You got the picture? You got the picture which I tried to explain? Didn't get it? See, someone received a call from a person who was driving. He met with an accident. This one picture should convey to you better than you writing a paragraph of you. See this news every day on paper. Someone's dead, someone's accident, died, whatever, coma. Yesterday there was an accident in there. But despite all that, we still do that. But this sort of pictures, this sort of images will capture everyone, not only people who who are literate, even illiterates. I don't know, am I really communicating to all of you? There seems to be very total silence. I don't know. Does it reach you? Has it reached you? I'm not very sure. Okay, I'll give you another, another topic. Recruitment, I think anyway has talked about it. I can tell you one important factor which will be of real enthusiasm, will give you enthusiasm to all of you. Indian population is probably the youngest and the most educated in the world. 30-35%, I think you may be aware of that. 30-35% of the Indian population is probably most educated and very young brigade. We have a very young brigade. Unlike China, China is also intelligent, but unfortunately most of them are more than 70. For us, between 25 and 30, I think 25 and 35 or 40, I think we have got a very big population. I think they must be having the statistics anyway. I'm just telling out of what I read in papers. So you are one of them actually. And America feels India has the best brain. I'm not talking one or two, talking of a group, not a group, a few million people. And you are all among them. So you have a great future ahead of you. Only thing, what you might lack, which I think your college is taking care of, communication skill and making yourself job ready. I just heard and I just talked to your people here, your teachers and the lecturers. I think they are taking care of it, which is very good for you. That will take you everywhere. One more thing I thought I'd tell you. In fact, I thought I'd talk about one point, one topic, and then I want to tell you something else too. How many of you heard lateral thinking, the word lateral thinking, the phrase lateral thinking? Any of you know it? What is lateral thinking? Yes. She said thinking out of the box. Did you understand what it means? What is thinking out of the box? Thinking not in the normal way, thinking it slightly differently. Most of the times, problems cannot be always with the same. You have to come out of it and think differently. I just give you an example again. I always talk about examples. See, Japanese, they like this watermelon very much. I don't know if you have read the story. They love watermelons, but watermelons are not grown all over the country. It's grown in maybe special pockets, special area, one or two areas it gets grown and gets transported all over the country. What happens, see the watermelon, the shape of the watermelon, it's a little odd. It's not exactly a circle, it's not a sphere, it's not a square or something like that. So when you go and load it onto a cargo container, there will be a lot of gaps. You can't fill it, cut and you can't put it inside, correct? Correct? So you can only put it in full fruits. Say why? And this is always a problem because when you have to transport some food item like this, it has to be transported very quickly at the same time. In large quantities, because the cost is going to be very, very high because you are going to transport you on the road or something like that. So they always, this company which is running whoever is running that, manufacturing or producing that agricultural product, they always used to meet in a meeting and say, come on man, is there any way we can get, hypothetically they said, can I get square or cube sized watermelons? Understand what I'm saying? Like cubes. Is it possible? How can you get cubes? Can cut it off, right? What can we do? This was, many meetings they always say, come on man, it's not going to happen. They just left it at that. But that was one way I was thinking about it. Any idea? What they did? They bought wooden boxes. Put them when the fruit comes out, when a small one, they put it inside the box. When it grows, what happens? It will take the shape of the cube. Understand what I'm saying? Huh? No, yes, no. So it becomes a cube. So now what happens? They are able to transport a larger quantity of watermelons without spending extra money on the transportation cost. Get it? Understand what I'm saying? Instead of say transporting 100 watermelons, they are able to do 130 or 140 watermelons of the same weight. So 30% of the material goes without any literally transportation. So you will save a lot on cost. So that is called lateral thinking. Think conventionally what you will say is not possible. First thing what you will say is, how can it be a square fruit? How can you get a square watermelon? That is lateral thinking. Okay. Actually, I want to start this whole talk in a different, slightly different way. I don't know if you're aware, I'm actually literally last year, actually there was another person who was supposed to come. I just came in because he was not well. Fortunate that I got into this. I'm happy at that time. I must thank the college and the ICT for giving me this opportunity. This is the first time, as I said, talking in front of a gathering of this size. So what I want to start it like this. I said I'm like Upma in a wedding party. I'm repeating a story which you I'd like to see in that film, an old film. I'm like Upma. What is Upma? Upma is something which is prepared quickly in a wedding party when the crowd is more than what is expected. They quickly make Upma and give it to them because you can't ask people go without any food, right? Our culture is when someone comes for a wedding or even at home, first thing we do at least give something. So I am like Upma, but don't think Upma is bad. In fact, Upma is very good. As a matter of fact, I can tell you one more thing. I think I'm not sure of the name. If it is a chef or some other chef, that person won an award in a competition in Australia making Upma. So don't think Upma is bad. So I am also not bad. I think. Okay. So I think that I will just wind up with this. Yeah, I think that in fact I just hadn't, honestly I didn't have much time. I had only about, yesterday night, last night, 9 o'clock or something they called me. So I had to do a bit of researching quickly and try to collect some points to say. I didn't want to take too much time of yours. Thank you very much. And before I conclude, I want to really thank ICT, Mr. Vishwa and Arun from college. I'm really happy to be here in front of you talking. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring this center to address the
from the senior most persons. So very little left out for me. Anyway, I prepare a small presentation. I'm a core technical person. As someone read about my profile. I'm from mechanical engineering and it's the first time to addressing to the circuit departments. So, but anyway, nowhere I am a pure mechanical engineer. I have a team of 35 engineers. Almost 60% is from the circuit team. So working on the controls and the development activities. So I have some knowledge about what is required from the core departments like EEC and even information technologies, which are driving the new automobile. So if you long back, if you see any world car ambassador or even the Fiat. If you open a front bonnet, you won't see any electrical wire. In fact, in diesel engines, even there is no spark plugs, nothing. So it's completely a mechanical domain. Even the automobile industry, about 30 years or 40 years back. But if you open an engine, that engine bonnet, see, you cannot see an engine at all. So everything is covered, everything is electronically controlled. So it is intelligent systems now. Mechanical systems combined with all advanced this IT and the electrical technologies, making the new automobile sector very comfortable for the users, and also it's supportive as you are adapting to the new technologies. So as one of the speakers touched about the smartphones. So the smartphones, the telematics, the IT, ITS, information technology, information aided systems, ADAS, adaptive driver assistance systems. So all those systems are incorporating to the automotive vehicle, which gives a very good communication between vehicles with the servers, the data. Okay, so automotive sector is no more any mechanical firm or like that. The same I always talk about the Intel, say the microprocessor, microchip processing. So again coming up to the smartphone. So now I hope the minimum thickness, how much? 6 mm? Long back I saw some company, Lava Irish, somebody launched about 6 mm or 5 mm thickness smartphone. So how come it's possible with the octa-core or quad-core processor, all those things? Is it just because of the only of the electronic? It's a very good innovation and technology from the electrical and industrial systems. But nowhere these kind of industries are only electronic form, because when you take about the chip, it's generating a heat, right? So any system takes energy, you are giving electrical energy into that, it comes out some output, nowhere is 100% efficiency. Any systems, that is the basics of law, your life cycle. Anything if you give 100%, you never get 100% out. But the energy will be balanced. Something goes as a waste, especially if you take it as in a microchip or some processor, the waste is as a heat. So again,